What do we have here? Madrid. What happened? What happened to you guys? So much talk, so much chatter after that Barca game. And what happened here? The same Madrid fans who I hope watched the Clasico review match, the post-match review. I hope you guys are watching this video because the amount of talk I heard online after that game on Twitter, on Instagram, TikTok, whatever platform, YouTube, so much talk saying you guys are going to go to Anfield and you guys are going to teach them a lesson. What happened here? Because this, in my opinion, is by far one of the worst Madrid games I've seen all season, all last year under Carlo. This was bad. This was really bad. And look, I'll get to who impressed me, who didn't, the classic review stuff, but I will also get to the Bayern PSG game because that game I really want to talk about. I'm wearing the Bayern top, in commemoration for Bayern Munich fans. So if you guys are Bayern fans, if you guys are all fans, welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are doing well. If you guys love the content, please leave a like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. We'll obviously talk about the game. And yeah, I'm going to start with the Liverpool Real Madrid game, as I said. And look, I'm just going to get right into it. Liverpool absolutely dominated Madrid today. Dominated. I mean, the stats will say it. The stats will say it in terms of everything out of ball possession, because ball possession doesn't win you the game. But in all aspects, in terms of physicality, in terms of tactics, in terms of player for player, Madrid got absolutely schooled today. Schooled. Off the park at Anfield once again, similar to last year. Because there was so much expectation, right, for Xabi Alonso to come to Anfield, for him to finally prove himself in the Champions League, for him to, kind of write a story to his former club too, because obviously he played for Real Madrid, but he also played for Liverpool too, and was a big, major player for them in the big tournaments. But today, I'm sure Madrid fans are going to be so disappointed in the way they played today, because they played a Liverpool side who, let's be honest, they aren't good this season. They have not been playing well. If you go to Liverpool's record, if you go to their team form, bro, since September 27th, lost to Palace, lost to Galatasaray, lost to Chelsea, lost to United. They beat Frankfurt, they lost to Brentford, they lost to Palace again in the Cup. They beat Villa last weekend, to be fair. But today they've absolutely schooled Madrid. The same Real Madrid who said they're going to come to Anfield and do something. But honestly, today was bad. Today was really bad. And it makes you wonder because I gave Xabi Alonso so much praise, after that Barca game. And as a Barca fan myself, that wasn't easy to do. I mean, that video was long enough in itself for a reason. But that, giving Madrid their flowers and the praise they deserve, it makes you wonder if they really deserved it. Because yes, they played, a great game against Barca. But let's be honest, we were also very bad that game. Whether it's defensively, or through our attacks, we were bad. But today, against an even worse side in terms of form against Liverpool, these guys just didn't look themselves today. And every single Madrid player who I praised that game dropped a below average performance today. And look, in the first half, obviously, you could see that it was kind of even in the sense where, both teams kind of had the ball, kind of going punch for punch in terms of attacks. But Liverpool, in my opinion, had the better chances because they tested Courtois way more. I think Madrid had that one really good Jude chance, that Arda shot on target, which, it wasn't a great shot. And that one Mbappe chance, which he sent it to Rosette. But besides that, they didn't really create too much. They had a lot of the ball. But what's that going to do? And I think that comes down to Xabi Alonso's setup of the team. Because he, as you can see, used the exact same setup against Barca. But guys, it's Liverpool. It's a completely different opponent. Surely, Xabi would set the team up in a way, kind of study the way Liverpool have been playing, the way Liverpool have been defensively exposed this season, and set the team up in a more, attacking way where they can actually do something with the ball. Because today, on the ball, man, they looked so dead, lackluster, didn't really string any attacks together. I mean, for the players that they have, they really should be doing more. Madrid performance as a whole reminded me of Carlo Ancelotti last year. It reminded me of how they just looked completely discombobulated, from a tactics point of view. They just didn't have any cohesion with each other. And like I said, with the players who I praised, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Bellingham, Vinny, Huijsen, all of these guys who I praised in the last game, today they were bad. These were probably the 5 worst players on the pitch today. They weren't good whatsoever. So, I don't know. This was a bit of a weird one, considering I praised them so much. But if I were to remove the Barca hat, man, if I was a Madrid fan, I'd be so disappointed. Because this is, again, another game where Xabi Alonso has to prove a point in the Champions League, because let's be honest, this is Madrid's competition, This is, the Champions League. They are Mr. Champions League for a reason. And to be fair, I did say it towards the end of the Barca review. I'm like, let's see what Xabi can do. Let's see what he can prove in the future. But this proves a point again. How in the Champions League they haven't looked convincing whatsoever, and it's worrying. If I was a Madrid fan, I'd be worried because looking at this with that squad, with the level of talent that you guys have, you should be doing way better. You should be doing way, way better. I think, if it wasn't for Courtois today, who, oh my goodness, this guy was pulling off saves where I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, Liverpool should have had like 3 or 4 today if it wasn't for Courtois. It could have been 3 or 4-0 today, but this guy was unbelievable. Definitely like the best keeper, or one of the best keepers I've seen in my life. Like, without a shadow of a doubt. Because without him, this guy bails out Madrid's defensive mistakes and Madrid's bad performances so much. Without him, it could have been way worse. Without him, you could argue they wouldn't have as many UCLs because he is that good of a goalkeeper. So he's probably the only person on that Madrid side today who can leave with his head held high, because the rest of these guys, my goodness, they were bad. This was probably the worst game I've seen Dean Huijsen play in a Madrid shirt, and probably, honestly, I might be over-exaggerating here, but this is probably the worst game I've seen him play in his career. Today, he looked completely, lost, That's now Atleti, he wasn't great. Liverpool, he wasn't great. That's 2 big games now away from home where he just hasn't looked himself. So, I don't know. Should question marks be over? I mean, Ekitike today had him in shambles. Wirtz, Gakpo off the bench had this guy in absolute shambles. So, I don't know, Madrid fans. Let me know what you guys think of Huijsen in the comments below and his performances. And the 3 midfielders, man. Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and Bellingham. I praise these guys so much, like I said, against Barca. They really put up a great defensive performance against us. Those 3, after the so-called masterclass they dropped against Barca, you'd expect so much better from them. Today, this midfield got spun. They were in circles today by Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and McAllister. Absolutely spun today. They looked like ballerinas out there. It's performances like these where I wouldn't put... I mean, Tchouaméni, in my opinion, was probably the best of the 3. It's performances like these where I wouldn't put Camavinga and Tchouaméni in, the best in their position in the world. Even though they can be. Yes, they can be for sure. But it's performances like these that really bring that reputation down. That might be my Barca brain talking. That might be, a biased brain talking. I do think that they're quality. But it's performances like these where I really think hinders their ability to be in that conversation on a consistent basis. Bellingham, he had that really good chance in the first half. But honestly, besides that, didn't really do much, did he? At least in my opinion, I don't think he did that much this game. I will get to Liverpool because I do think a lot of what I'm saying about Madrid is kind of overshadowed by the fact that Liverpool played so well today. They played so well today. It was just really a lackluster attack from the Madrid front line, because in that second half especially, if we go to the stats over here, they didn't have a single shot on target. They didn't create one big chance against a Liverpool side who are known to be defensively leaky, who are known to be, defensively shaky. They couldn't create one chance today, which was so shocking. So shocking. But honestly, I don't want to spend too much time in Madrid. I want to give Liverpool their flowers because today we saw probably the best performances from certain players we've seen all season. And I'm going to start with Connor Bradley. Wow. Today, my goodness. We have just seen one of the best right-back performances all season. And not only did this guy lock up Kylian Mbappe last year and added him to his, defensive resume, but today, what he did to Vinny was just illegal. That was illegal. What he did to Vinny today, my goodness. Ballon d'Or Vinny, by the way. The same Vinny that's going to come back 10 times stronger. Bradley sent him back to Madrid with grass in his mouth because the amount of times this guy tackled him and sent him into the rafters. My goodness, today was an absolute defensive masterclass from Connor Bradley. It's so impressive how Bradley has dropped 2 masterclass performances against Real Madrid across 2 seasons. To do it today in front of Trent, who's watching him from the bench, against his old club. Bradley's probably looking at him right now saying, yeah, this is my role now. You're gone. This is my home. This is my spot. So Bradley, man, fairs, man. You've done us a favor today. You've done us a big favor today as Barca fans. What a performance. I know it says McAllister got man of the match, but today it should have been to Bradley in my opinion. I thought he was unbelievable. I thought Wirtz was fantastic today. He was a bit unlucky to not leave that first half with an assist, but I mean, just the way he was kind of running the channels kind of gave, Valverde didn't really know how to deal with him because he kept kind of cutting inside and dropping in. I thought he was great today. Szoboszlai just was an absolute engine. Like I said, these 3 in midfield just took these 3 and had them in a headlock pretty much all game. So fair play to Liverpool's midfield. And honestly, I got to give credit to Slot because knowing that your team isn't doing defensively well, at least in the last like couple of games, and coming up against Mbappe and Vinny and Goulet and Bellingham and all these players, and to put up a defensive performance like that, to keep a clean sheet against them, fair enough, fair enough. Like, and in terms of an occasion like this, it does speak volumes, in my opinion. Like Liverpool, they haven't been in the greatest run of form. And I still think there are a couple like, issues that they'll eventually resolve, whether it's with the players or, with that defensive back line. But you have to give them flowers today. Today they were exceptional. Exceptional. Honestly, every single player today was just unbelievable. So good. So good. I don't even know how Ekitike has a 6.3 because I thought he gave this back line so much trouble. Liverpool, fair enough. Absolutely wonderful performance. Now that puts them tied with Madrid on points. They needed that win too because they were on 6 points before this game. So that's a huge win for them in terms of the league group phase and where they stand in the table. And Madrid, not a not a great performance whatsoever. But it is time. It is time to talk about Bayern Munich. Guys, Bayern Munich is the best team in the world. Best team in the world right now. They have just gone to PSG, who are European champions, who were the best team in the world last season. And I know the stats say otherwise because, let's be real, that red card affected it in the second half. But for that first half, these guys played PSG off the park. Completely off the park. Like, that first half, it's a crime how UEFA scheduled the Bayern game and the Madrid game in the same time on the same day. That's a crime in terms of viewership. That is an absolute crime. But I was able to watch both games, not too well in my opinion. I was more on the Madrid-Liverpool game today. But just from what I saw in that first half, I got to give credit to Vincent Kompany, who today proved again why he is one of the best managers in the world. To go into Bayern from Burnley, and I can't believe I'm saying Burnley in the same sentence as Bayern, to go from Burnley to Bayern and to win 16 games in a row. Ignore last season, I'm saying now, 16 games in a row is just a joke. That's a joke. I think many people, including myself, have to give this guy an apology. We had this preconceived notion that Kompany wouldn't be able to do it at Bayern. He wouldn't be able to make them succeed at the highest level. Yes, they won the Bundesliga with him, but they fell short in the Champions League. But this could be their season. This could really be their season. They have a really strong case as to why they can win every single competition at the club level at this moment in time. They are an unbelievable squad. Upamecano today, wow, so good. Luis Diaz again, ignore the red card, proving why that price for him in the summer was fair. 2 goals in the first half. It was incredible how these guys dominated PSG because PSG last season, they were the team to beat. Then till this game, they were the team to beat because of the way they played. But these guys couldn't get it together in that first half. The second half, they obviously had more of the ball. Bayern sat back. And the fact that they only conceded 1 goal with 10 men at PSG's ground, saw out the win, is so impressive. So defensively resolute too. But PSG, man, I know Dembele got injured. I know Hakimi got injured. Hakimi's injury, by the way, looked really bad. So speedy recovery. Dembele, I know, got injured. But the rest of the players didn't have the greatest game. Marquinhos with another mistake. Again, on the crime scene in a PSG game. Wasn't their best game whatsoever. But, I mean, it is PSG. And they are sitting well on the table right now. So it's going to be interesting to see in the last 4 games how these guys do without Hakimi and Dembele now. Bayern Munich, I have to give you guys so much credit because what we're seeing right now isn't normal. Look at that. 16 wins in a row in all competitions and convincingly winning every single one. It's not like they're getting lucky in any of these games. They are convincingly winning every single game by a country mile. So fair enough, Bayern. This is the best team in the world, in my opinion. Hands down. And that's why I'm wearing this shirt, to commemorate. I have to, give plaudits because that is just unbelievable. But yeah, honestly, this was a great day of Champions League football. Arsenal, again, keeping a clean sheet. Juve, not really getting it together with their new manager just yet. Atleti, getting a win against Union. And Conte, man, this guy in the Champions League. Unmitigated disaster. Tottenham beating Copenhagen 4-0. And that Van de Ven goal, by the way, if you guys haven't seen it, one of the best goals I have ever seen from a centre-back. But yeah, that's the review, guys. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Leave a like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, of course. Follow all my socials in the description below. And we are so close to 100 subscribers, guys. About 20 subscribers away. So close. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.